Okay, so hello and welcome to today's class. I'll be taking you through how to make a short. I'm going to teach you how to make the pattern. So to start drafting the pattern, we are going to measure 1 inch horizontal line and use that as our starting point. So let's mark that 1 inch and then rule a straight line. So this is going to be our waistline. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is to find our hip line, and we are going to be measuring our waist to our hip. So we are going to use the measurements we measured from our waist to the hip. So whatever your waist to hip measurement is, you can use it. If your waist to hip measurement is 9 inches, use 9 inches. If it's 10, if it's 11, whatever it is, just plot it there. So we'll mark our waist to hip. So mine is 9 inches. So I'll mark 9 inches all across and then draw a straight line as usual. So this forms my hip line. The next thing we'll do is find our crotch line, and usually the crotch line is 3 inches below the hip line. So from the hip line, we'll measure 3 inches down, mark it all across, and then draw another straight line. So to find your crotch line, just add 3 inches to your hip line, or measure 3 inches from your hip line down. Okay, so this is our crotch line. The next thing we'll do is to find the length of our shorts. So whatever the length of your shorts is, mark it on the brown paper. So mine is 16 inches. The 16 inches, I'm going to add 1 inch to it to turn the hem, so it becomes 17. So you measure from the waistline or the starting point down to your shorts length measurement and add 1 inch to it, and that becomes your hem. So mine is 16 plus that 1 inch, I get 17. I mark it all across and draw my hemline. Then I can cut out the excess. So at this point, I don't need this side. This is my hem plus the allowance. So I'll cut out the one that I do not need. Okay, so now we are done cutting. I'll now try and then draw my crotch. So I'll measure 3 inches from this point on the waistline and then mark. Then I measure 3 inches on the hip line as well from here and then mark again. I'll measure 3 inches here and mark. Then I will draw a vertical line. So I'll connect all these 3 inches points to the crotch line. Okay, now measure 2 inches from this point here, and that is how we are going to use, that's what we are going to use to curve our crotch. So I'll measure 2 inches from this L point. Just measure 2 inches, and standing on the crotch line, measure 1 inch and use that to curve the crotch. So you curve it like this. I hope you see it. You curve it like this. Then you have your crotch. Then we are going to be taken out. We realize we had 3 inches here, so as we've drawn our crotch, we are going to remove this point out of it. So just measure 1 inch all the way down. This is 1 inch, so measure 1 inch all the way down and cut out the excess. So just draw a straight line and cut this point out because you do not need it. So you cut this point out and then you cut your crotch as well.